you so much for joining us for another episode of the Sporadic Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Fizz, and I'm joined together by two of my lovely friends. Rena, go ahead and say hi.
Hello.
And Haseo, go ahead and say hi.
I've been dragged here at great expense. Fizz's wallet will be crying after this.
Yes. It is unfortunate. This is the first time that he's here, but at least he gets to join us when we have the brand new layout for the camera setup and everything that I put so much time and energy in. Unfortunately, audio only listeners, you're not going to get to see it, but that gives you an excuse to go into YouTube later and take a look because it's very pretty. I like it. They haven't even seen it yet, so they don't even know what this is going to look like when it's done, but I'm very proud of it. So, welcome in. Haseo, thank you for joining us. This is your first time. How are you feeling? Are you glad that you're getting paid $1 million at my personal expense to be here?
I'm expecting a 7-figure check in the mail by 5 minutes after this. But
Yes.
I'm feeling pretty excited.
Yes, absolutely. And then all the other things we agreed to exchange, all the various drugs and weaponry that we have coming, that's all still on board, right? We're still on for that?
Yeah, I'll make sure
Okay.
there's a giant hole in the wall.
Wonderful. Okay, we'll nail that down after the stream, but I'll be DMing you. So anyways, welcome. Well, seriously though, welcome. I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah,
been
no worries.
Trying to do this for a while, but I'm glad we're finally all three of us together. Let's go. We are going to go ahead and kind of just jump into it because we've got a lot of stuff to discuss here. And we are known to yap, so I don't want to take up too much of these lovely folks at home's time. But before we get into any of our main events, it's tradition at this point. We got to go over what we've been playing, what we've been up to over the last week or so. And Haseo, since you were the newest one here, I'll go ahead and throw it to you. What sort of games and stuff have you been up to?
All right, well, I did just get back from going to a music festival. All of those who know, we're not going to go into it. What happens at Ness stays at Ness. So as I've been getting back, it's mostly just been a lot of Marvel Rivals and going through Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, he is our resident Marvel Rivals expert, so
It is a problem. I may need help.
Dude, I'm telling you, I want to play that game so much, but my account is it's on PlayStation and they don't have cross progression yet. And I've been telling you, all I want is just to have my account across all platforms so I can play with you guys on PC and play ranked with you guys and do all that stuff. But I'm telling you, I don't want to lose my Spider-Man skins. I don't want to lose my Psylocke skins. Bro, it costs money.
Better skins, just come over.
It costs money.
It's on PlayStation.
And right now.
Ugh, I'll think about it, but oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I don't want to lose all my stuff. Hopefully, dude, they've been saying for a year that they're going to add cross progression, so I hope that comes quick because I'm getting sick of waiting, I'm telling you. Anything else fun you've been up to, or any games you're playing besides Birth by Sleep and Marvel Rivals?
No, mostly just been those two. Dipping my feet in a little bit with Oblivion Remastered, but haven't got super far in yet.
I have played the same opening 5 hours on both PlayStation and PC and then stopped. Because that's what happens when I play Elder Scrolls games. I do the same thing multiple times. I play the opening and then I just stop. I don't know what it is. What's wrong with me? I've always been like this. I've played Skyrim 40 times, but I've only beat it twice.
Jesus. I mean, I never played it till last year, and
Yeah.
about 70 hours in, I think I've done 4 main quests.
Yeah, that's the other problem I have. I'm either not finishing the game or I'm doing that. I'm just doing everything that's not the actual regular game.
Yeah, it's all right, I've done everything. What about the main quest? There's a main quest?
I'm the Dragonborn? What? Since when?
What's that? Yeah, I clipped under the ground and stole this blacksmith's inventory to sell back to him.
Rena, what about you? What have you been playing? Actually, I know what you've been playing, but I'll let you tell the story.
So I've been going through some Rockstar games to prepare for GTA 6. So during the Steam sale, I picked up OG Red Dead Redemption 1, and I played through it and beat it. And it only took me 19 hours, and I think that game did not age well at all.
Ooh, that's a hot take. I think it aged beautifully. I think Red Dead Redemption 1 is better than the second game in gameplay and story.
An extra digit added to my check for that take.
Dude, Red Dead Redemption 1 is awesome. I'm telling you.
Like, it's not a bad game. Like, I enjoyed my time with it. It's just after you get into Mexico, that's where the pacing just takes a huge nosedive.
You
Oh,
are
I
I'll
don't
take.
think,
I'll
swine.
take. Mexico's the best part of the game, bro. I'm telling you.
and I don't think the game story works well without the context of Red Dead Redemption 2.
I
Oh yeah.
I
Listen
don't know
to
if
the
I agree with that
American
because,
complaining as soon as you go to Mexico. Fucking typical.
bro, I don't think that that's the case because Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't exist for like 8 years, and everyone
I
still liked the story. Like I didn't feel like I
I
needed any context.
I question people, but and then I've also started Red Dead Redemption 2, I think like
Yeah,
third or fourth playthrough. Great game. I've also been getting back into Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
still in chapter 2, just like me.
Yep,
Are you
and then
guys
I've
over on
also
Drake?
What
no,
did?
you. On top of I've also been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, which another hot take. I am not. I don't know what's the right word is. I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I'm not. Like there's things about it I like, but it's just way too easy. Like the boss fights are taking me less than 2 minutes, and that's on the normal difficulty.
Is there harder difficulties than normal?
Nope.
There's an easy mode though.
So I think
I
it's
haven't I haven't
assist
played it yet,
mode
so I
and
don't
normal
know.
mode.
I
There's
haven't.
assist mode and normal mode.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I have heard that it's pretty easy though. Unless you're DSP,
Yeah.
then it's the hardest game ever made.
Look, if you're DSP, every game is basically Dark Souls.
I
Even Dark Souls is even more Dark Souls
I
than Dark
don't
Souls is Dark Souls.
I don't watch DSP, but that clip has been going around all over the place. I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about, but yeah, the clip of him doing like the surf the turf surf little mini game there. Oh, that was so funny. So funny.
And then the last
You
one,
know what? I'm still subscribed. It floods my inbox for
Yeah.
because he uploads like 61 times a day. But like I keep it there, and every so often I just pop in. It's like, what's DSP up to now? And then
Yeah.
I see some of the greatest stuff in my life. I'm like, all right, I'll come back to this in 5 months.
Rena, I'm surprised you didn't mention Street Fighter. Is it maybe because you don't want to talk about it?
yes.
You just don't want to talk about what happened? All right, because see, I'm going to tell the audience because,
If you tell them what happened, I will personally copyright claim this video. I'll
guys,
steal all of your money.
we've been playing Street Fighter. That's the actual thing we've been doing this week. I don't know why he's trying to spread all these lies about playing auteur artistic games like Red Dead Redemption. Nah, his ass is on Street Fighter getting 20 and 0'd by me. Is actually what's happening. That's
Okay.
been fun. That's been very fun, actually. I love Street Fighter
In-
6.
Okay, in my defense, he got me on a bad night.
He was emotionally compromised. He had just seen the Bunny Girl Senpai movie, the first one, and as we all know, or as anyone who's seen it knows, that movie is a little intense. And so, like, he literally went from watching that movie to getting him rocked in Street Fighter, and I can't blame him. All right, so anyone who's seen the video, don't judge his performance too harshly. He was emotionally compromised. And I know that's
think
something
even-
that like Perfect Legend would say if he lost 20 and 0, but that's we're still just gonna
You're not having my case here. man.
we're still gonna defend him because he's Rena and we love him. But that's
I'm
actually what's been going
because
on.
I'm Rena.
That's actually what's been going on. We've been playing Street Fighter.
thought
I've been
about
having a
anything
great
else I said.
time. I've been having a great time. I love that game. I'm so excited for Evo, man.
I like how you say that's what's been going on, as I actually haven't been playing other games.
I know. I'm just kidding. I know you've been playing other games. I just, I just wanted to bring it up. It's so fun. I've been having a good time. I want to keep playing more. Like I feel like I'm getting better and I'm learning so much. And you play in a way that challenges me and makes me have to think a lot. Because
Can confirm.
yeah, you do the whole no thinking thing. So like if I don't know what you're gonna do, then that means I need to be prepared for anything.
Yeah, you guys ever see that skit of like pro versus casual player, and it's like, oh, he's gonna high jump, low tech,
Yeah.
this grab, and it's like, turn my brain off jutsu, Windows turn off sound.
And it's like it starts here with like turning your brain off, and then here in the middle is like, oh yeah, like the super high level, he's gonna empty jump low, grab all this stuff, and then at the very far end, back at the pro level, it's turn my brain off and press buttons. It's true, man. I'm telling you. That's how Dododoya. That's how Dododoya is a master Terry, all right? Because if he doesn't know what he's gonna do, you don't know what he's gonna do, and that's how he won Stage Jam Slam. Okay, so
he's the master of surprise.
Oh my gosh. But seriously though, fighting games are awesome. Evo, I'm looking forward to. When this video goes live, I think Evo will just have started or is just about to start. Like a couple days away from starting. But Evo, I'm super stoked this year. I'm gonna be watching like everything and hoping for some cool announcements. We know that like 2XKO is gonna be on the floor, the Vi is gonna be playable. They just also announced a release date, kind of. I'm a little iffy on 2XKO, not gonna lie. But I mean, it looks very pretty, and they're doing the whole like soft launch thing. So they're doing like what Multiverses did, where they're just launching into free to play beta early access, but like you can just play the game. Like it's not like a week long beta. It's like you just have access to the beta forever, and I'm sure they'll monetize the beta, and you can just play it until 1.0 launches, and then they'll relaunch the game again. So I don't know how that's all gonna work. And it is apparently invite only. It's invite only, and it's only on PC, but it'll be free. It'll be like the first like big 2D fighter that's gonna be like free to play. And so I'm kind of curious to see if this is gonna be a success, given that it's also a League of Legends fighting game. So like I don't know, man. I don't know about that one, but it'll definitely bring in a lot of Arcane fans because both Jinx and Vi are in the game. So.
Honestly, Fizz, you strike me as someone who would be a League of Legends fan.
Dude, I hate League of Legends. What are you talking about?
I don't think anyone actually enjoys.
Yeah, no one likes League. Even like
There's
professionals.
Just the people who play it.
Yeah, you just sink deeper into like League of Legends depression. It's the same with Valorant and CS:GO or CS2 now. Like you can appreciate the game in its depth, but like you don't play the game because you like it. All right, you play the game to see number go up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want everyone to know this. I've been playing with Fizz for a while now, and he's lying about Street Fighter. He's really playing League of Legends.
Oh my god. No, I don't. I've actually only played League of Legends once, and it was in like 2019 or whatever. My friends were like, let's play League, and then I played for like 40 minutes, and I'm like, I'm uninstalling. I'm never touching this shit again. This is horrible. But I'm also not great at like just MOBAs in general. So like the only MOBA I have like decent experience in is Smite. I actually really enjoy Smite, not gonna lie. But I'm not good at Smite, and I'm not high tier or high level at it or anything. But I'd go into like those servers, like those like team deathmatch servers or whatever, where they're not actually like the 3 lanes. And I'd play that for like hours, man. Like when getting home from school and stuff back in the day. Smite's cool. I haven't played it in years though, so I don't know.
I have a profound confession. I have never once played a MOBA because I like this thing called a shower.
Yeah, just don't do it, and you'll love your life so much more. Like I see. Here's the thing. I'm already cooked. Okay, I play competitive shooters. I play fighting games. I play racing games. Like I'm cooked. All right, I'm already too far down the deep end of like the competitive gamer pipeline. Okay, I can't go to the 7th layer of hell that is League of Legends. I just can't do it. So you should just save yourself by not even attempting any of the things. Just stay away from all of it. Enjoy your Marvel Rivals. Enjoy your single player JRPGs. Just have a good life. Don't look at any of the stuff we're doing. Don't be like us. Learn from my mistakes.
Well, you see, Fizz, unfortunately, when Marvel Token drops, I am unfortunately going to be sucked down that pipeline just as fast.
Yeah. Me too, buddy. Me too. I'm actually okay. This is gonna sound crazy. I'm looking forward to Tokon. Like that is my number one game that I'm looking forward to in 2026. Like GTA who? Like give me Marvel Tokon. That's all I want, dude. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
With you more in my entire life.
I'm so excited.
I never agreed with you less in my entire life. Give me GTA 6 right now.
I am excited for GTA 6.
I don't even care anymore.
But
just
like,
give me Tokon.
If somebody asked me, right? Like if someone was like, hey, like, dude, oh my gosh, they're out of copies of the game and all digital servers are down. You can't do anything. You can only get Tokon or GTA 6, like I would get Tokon, man, like in a heartbeat, like easy answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Same here. Okay, so like I'm sure we've all played Marvel versus Capcom.
I
You said
haven't.
maybe Arena. All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're out of
Besides
this
Arena,
conversation.
yeah,
Just be
we
quiet for a little bit.
assume he's
Um,
just not played most things. We have this
yeah,
conversation a lot.
yeah, I guess so. But like everyone in the fighting game community knows, Doctor Doom in that third game is an absolute menace with that boot drop.
Yeah.
And I cannot, with words in any language, describe the visceral joy I saw when Spider-Man countered Doom with his own boot drop, and I was like, yeah!
Marvel 3 dive kick, bro. I'm telling you, dude. Just the
Oh,
fact that this is an Arc System Works game, and Arc System Works are just the goats of fighting games. Like this is Marvel, but from ArcSys, and that's so cool, man. And I don't know if you've seen, because it's gonna be at Evo, and that's kind of why I brought that up too. Is it's gonna be the first time we're gonna see gameplay. I'm sure we're gonna get like a first look at like some new characters, probably at least two, I would imagine. Because this game's gonna have a pretty big roster, and that's the other thing. We also got to look at the UI and the character selection screen. Have you seen like what the character selection screen looks like, Haseo?
not at the moment, no.
So it's gonna be big, dude. There's so much room. Like so, they have 6 playable characters at the Evo booth in this like playable state of the game. So they don't have Spider-Man or I think Storm. Some one of the other characters are missing, so you can only play as a few of the other ones.
Why
Um,
might you not have Spider-Man? Like
well,
Spider-Man seems
it's just for the Evo. Like Spider-Man's in the game, but for this Evo playable build, he might just not have been done yet, or whatever build we're playing is just limited to these 6 characters. So, anyways, at the build that they have access to, it shows the character selection screen, and the 6 characters, dude, they are small. They are just in the middle. They're a tiny little chunk. People have done some math, and this game will likely have room for anywhere between 30 to 50 characters on the high end, depending on how much screen real estate they want to use. So a lot of
Good
people are
lord.
assuming the game is probably going to launch with around 30 characters and then probably get like 10, 15, 20 more in DLC seasons, which means all the people who were saying this game was going to launch with like 20 characters, like, nah, we might be eating good. We might actually be launching a game with like 30 to 35 Marvel characters. And at some point, I want to like sit down with you before Evo and I want to like do a whole like prediction list about like who we think's going to be in this game, because I have some hot takes, I have some no-brainer takes, and then I have some kind of wild takes about who I think is going to be in or skip this game.
Give me my boy MODOK.
MODOK would be
My boy-
fun. I don't think
He's in
he's
Marvel
coming though.
3.
Yeah,
He's
that's the thing is like I actually think that hurts his chances more, because I think they want to do a lot of characters that like weren't in Marvel 3 or 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't think
obviously
it's too
there's gonna be some characters that like they're gonna be here. Like if you think Wolverine is skipping this game, you're actually just brain dead.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be here. He's probably gonna be the character they show next. Like I would imagine he was probably one of the first characters they freaking designed when they were having the idea of this game. So yeah, Wolverine
and
will be
Spider-Man
here.
always seem like the first of the Marvel characters to get
Well,
designed.
back in the day, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Hulk were the 3 biggest superheroes, and it wasn't until the MCU where that changed and it became like Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. Like those 3 became like the face of Marvel and kind of like pushed
Yeah.
Spider-Man down. But even Spider-Man, like Spider-Man has persisted despite the MCU, and then eventually including the MCU. So like Spider-Man has just always been mega popular. I would totally argue he's the most popular Marvel hero. I don't think that's even
Oh, he is
controversial
by
to say.
far. It's
Like I
not
think it's
even
like not
close.
even funny how
Yeah, it's a massive gap.
So,
It's,
like, yeah, like,
on the
not-
totem of like all time from like both DC and Marvel, him, Batman, and Superman are always the
Yeah.
top 3.
oh 100%.
And then it's a giant gap, and then it's 4.
Yeah. And that makes sense because yeah, like Spider-Man's crazy big for the Marvel side especially. So even like the dark eras of Spider-Man that you and I are very familiar with, like even then he was still popping off, and his movies always do well, his TV shows always do okay, and his games are always popping off too. So Spider-Man's pretty peak. But I think yeah, I think there's going to be some pretty cool characters I think that they're going to add, and I hope that they add, but then also I think there's some characters that people are going to be asking for and might not get. Like
The ultimate twist is that they reference MVC2. There's Wolverine with Adamantium Claw and Wolverine with Bone Claw with like one extra move.
Yeah. Unironically, I like Bone Claw Wolverine in that game. He's very fun.
His claws are longer and they're so wiggly.
They're very wiggly.
It's
But
wild.
Tokon,
But I'm
though,
super excited.
so excited. So that's
I haven't
my
really
little
seen much
gushing
of Tokon.
Well,
session.
it's
Yeah,
only had one trailer.
it's just the initial launch trailer, and then the stuff that came out, I think this morning or yesterday at the time of recording, they released some screenshots and stuff from the game showing off like the UI and the start screen and stuff. The UI in general looks so pretty, so that's nice as well. It's always a bonus when a game is pretty presentation and stuff. Like I think like Street Fighter 6, for example, has a good like fight UI, like in-game UI, but the actual like navigational UI is so terrible. It's actually it's unfortunate, man. So menus are important, I'm telling you. No, but
This tangent
I 100% agree though, as far as like the buying and supporting things that you like and then just not buying and not supporting things you don't like. But also, I do think every once in a while bullying big corporations is based and super justified. Did you guys see what happened with Xbox and Outer Worlds 2 specifically?
It was a smooth transition, and yes, I did see it.
Oh, thank
I was
you.
about to say that transition
No,
sucks.
I'm happy too, because at first when the announcement first happened, and to real quick just recap, Outer Worlds 2 got announced at $80. Xbox announced their games going forward are going to be $80, starting with the Outer Worlds 2. And when I saw the announcement that Outer Worlds was going to be $70 now, they changed their mind. They're taking a step back. They're saying, hey, our bad. That was a dumb call to make. I thought it was just Outer Worlds 2, so I was still dooming about it. I was like, yeah, but like Outer Worlds 2 never should have been $80 in the first place, so whatever. But like they're gonna charge $80 for COD, they're gonna charge $80 for Forza and Fable, and no, the announcement is that as of now, until further notice, they're just not doing $80 games. They're keeping it at 70, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, I'm not gonna give them credit necessarily for it because they shouldn't have gone to 80 in the first place. So like I'm not gonna sit here and like be like, oh yeah, thank you so much, but at the same time I will still say that's a good thing. They did a good thing. Their games should not be $80, and that is worthy of discussing and applauding, I guess, right? But it just goes to show sometimes if you just band together and like don't pre-order things, especially, but if you just band together and like make your voice heard on that kind of stuff, like you can make a difference. I'm sure they were planning on just doing $80 games, but they probably saw pre-order numbers drop for Outer Worlds 2. And if low pre-order sales are happening, then you're not gonna keep going with your plan. You're gonna probably just give in to the pressure of your audience, who are your actual paying customers who matter. So I think more gamers need to use this as a lesson to know that we do have the power when it comes to purchasing and stuff like that. And that, yes, if you just don't like something, or if you disagree with a business decision, the only thing that's going to matter is the bottom line. It's the money, it's the income of these corporations. That's all that matters to them. So if you just don't buy something and maybe encourage other people not to, again, you do what you want. I'm never going to tell anyone how to spend their money, but like if that's what you want to do, that's the only thing that's actually going to matter. And as a result, now Xbox is back to $70 games. I think this is going to be the death of $80 games, at least for the immediate, because the way I see it, right, if Nintendo did it once, they're probably going to do it again. If Nintendo's doing it and Xbox is like, all right, we're going to do it, then what do you think 2K and EA and Ubisoft are going to do? They're going to follow suit. And if the big boys are doing it, then what do you think the smaller guys are going to do? They're going to follow too. Or like the people like the other studios that are still at 60, they're then going to say, okay, well now it's time for us to go to 70. That way we're still behind, we're still behind where the AAA market is. And so now that Xbox is backing off of that, I don't think EA or Ubisoft or Sony or whoever else, I don't think they're going to go to 80. We already have had pretty big games announced that are not at 80 yet. I think The only other game that could come out and be 80 is GTA 6, and that might start this conversation over again. But I think until that game comes out, I think we are safe. I don't think $80 games are happening, at the very least until GTA. That's my official statement on that.
I actually think GTA is not going to be 80. I think it's going to be 90 or $100.
I don't think so. They're not going to go that high over market value like MSRP.
We say that as a meme. I don't think there's any realistic way they're going to look and be like, yeah, we can charge $100 plus tax for this.
Yeah, for a base edition game,
USD.
they might sell a $100 version of the game, like a deluxe edition, or like a collector's edition or deluxe edition.
This delicious.
No, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. Oh no,
you gotta keep that in.
No, but
is
like
it a
I
video
think
game or is it fake?
I think what they will do is that, yeah, I think it'll be probably a $70 or $80 base game with a deluxe collector's edition that costs, $120. Maybe it'll be higher, maybe they'll have a physical collector's edition that comes with like, I don't know, like Jason's sunglasses or something, and it's like $400. I don't know what they'll do, but they could do something. And
it's a statue of the female character with the jiggle ass.
Yeah, with the jiggle physics. Her name is Lucia, by the way. All right, so,
cool.
But no, like,
keeping up.
Yeah, I think that's really what they're going to end up doing. I don't think it's going to be a situation where they actually, like, people say that as a joke, but I don't think they're going to actually charge above MSRP. I don't think they go above 80, but I do think 80 is in the realm of possibility for a game like GTA. They might push it.
Why they will push it. Like, no matter what the market value is, they're going to push it above. Like, if it's either 80 or 90. GTA 6 is probably the most anticipated game to ever release, to the point where if Rockstar plays their cards right, I'm not saying they should do this. In fact, I highly against it. But if they were to make it like $90 or $100, I know people who said they don't care, they'll buy it anyway.
Some people, sure, but I think at that point you're going to price out the common man, and as we all know, the common man is where GTA makes its money. GTA is the casual game that's ever been created. Everyone says like, oh no, like Animal Crossing and all these other casual like Stardew Valley. Well, no, Minecraft sold way more than GTA. But like everyone says those kinds of games. No, dude, GTA is what the casual man are playing. Like that's just what the casual gamer is up to.
Yeah, like that's the thing we need to remember. Like, we are in like probably like the 5% of like the hyper obsessed. There are people who have only played GTA 6 or GTA 5. They have only played that game through 3 generations.
Yeah. They play that. They play the newest 2K, Madden, or FIFA, and they play maybe a COD every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because even most casual gamers don't buy every COD. They'll usually be like a COD or 2 behind.
Yeah. Like, we're in the Resident Evils, the Dead Spaces. That is the niche.
We are niche. We are hardcore.
Parts.
We are crazy. We are on a gaming podcast on YouTube and various other podcasting platforms talking about games where the average casual gamer doesn't even know that these platforms exist and have this sort of content on it.
Yeah, like there are actual full in-depth conversations I have with some of my other friends about Dark Souls. Do you think the common man is going to know who Oscar of Astoris is off of the top of his head? Probably not. He's the guy who gives you the Estus flask.
You have other friends?
Yes. I know you don't, but some of us
sad.
do.
You sounded so sad saying that. I'm so sorry. That made me actually feel a little bit bad in real life. You're just like,
I actually do have other friends. I just
like, you have other friends? What?
He talks to other people?
Oh my gosh. That was heartbreaking. Now I know how you feel watching the Bunny Girl movie.
Damn.
Yo, speaking of GTA 6, I know that this rumor is probably bull, but the conversation about GTA's frame rate has been going on for a long time. And I think, first of all, let me just say this right now. I think that the recent rumors that specific individual has been posting on Twitter, I do think they're fake. I don't think he's an insider with any information at Rockstar about the game's frame rate or performance, especially this early. However, we are seeing other games, right? Like that Wu Chang game that just came out today, or like Final Fantasy VII or Spider-Man. Like we are seeing games. Dragon's Dogma is another huge one. We are seeing games that are getting frame rate benefits going from the PS5 to the PS5 Pro. It is not out of the question to believe it is possible that GTA 6 could be a 30 FPS base console game, 60 FPS on Pro, with a specific performance mode that I'm sure will reduce resolution and whatever effects and stuff. But it is, I don't believe that that is out of the realm of possibility. The PS6 or the PlayStation 5 Pro specifically is not like a PS6, like it's not like a next generation console as far as performance goes or anything, but it is strong enough to like help alleviate that stuff. And like we don't know GTA 6, it could be a CPU bound game, it could be GPU bound, it could be any of these things, we don't know. But we have seen in example games like Wu Chang, like your quality mode's 30 FPS on base, and on PS5 Pro it's 60. It's the same settings, but you're just doubling frame rate for getting the new console. Same with Final Fantasy VII, 30 on base PS5 and 60 on PS5 Pro at the quality mode settings. I think Last of Us 2 also has a mode like that where it's like the same 4K quality mode, and then on PS5 it's 30 FPS, on PS5 Pro it's 60. So I think it's possible, but I do think that specifically that leak that we saw, I do think that's fake. But I think it does open the conversation of like, okay, these other games are seeing improvements. Is it possible GTA sees it? I personally think yes. I think it is more likely than not that there will be a 60 FPS mode, even potentially on base consoles. I think where we are in gaming now, like there's only like 4 or 5 games this entire generation that don't have a 60 FPS mode at all. I think GTA 6 will have one. I think it will. And I think the PS5 Pro, at the very least, will definitely have one, and the others are a question mark. But I honestly think it's a good chance that every console just has a 60 FPS mode, except maybe not like the Series S, but like of the main base consoles, the Xbox Series X, the PS5, and the PS5 Pro. I think 60 FPS is not out of the question for those. And then eventually in 2 years it'll come to PC, and all this will be a stupid conversation to have anyways. But for now, when we are only talking about a console release, I think it's possible.
I have to agree. I think the PS5 Pro. I don't think the base consoles will get 60 FPS. I think
Yeah,
those
maybe.
will just be locked
Maybe.
at 30. And I think the Pro consoles are going to have 60. If that's the case, I know I've been a PS5 Pro hater. I will literally go out and buy a PS5 Pro to get 60 FPS.
I think that is another thing too. I would not put it above Sony to be kicking some money Rockstar's way and saying like, hey, I don't care if you need to make the game look like ass. Like, get a 60 FPS mode on this thing, so that way we can say like 60 FPS only on PS5 Pro. You know, like that's something that they would want for marketing. I believe it.
You don't need to kick
I
over any
mean,
money.
yeah,
Xbox
it would be a
doesn't have
good
Pro
way
console.
it would be a good way to get like a last big push of pro sales before like in 2 years when the PS6 is starting to float around in the public conscience.
I'm not saying it's what's happening. This is just speculation of a guy with no insider connections. But
Yeah,
I
no,
wouldn't put it above them.
it's all purely speculation. I could see it,
Yeah.
and that being the motivation.
I wouldn't put it above them to do something like that, but then I also don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to be happening anyways. So like I hope it's what happens. I don't want to play a 30 FPS game. I don't want to do that anymore. I have a 240 hertz monitor on my PC, bro. Like even 60 is a little bit too low for me.
Club.
So like I'm already in that zone. But yeah, I think it's possible. I hope it is, because GTA 6 obviously a huge game. It would suck if it's one of the only games on the entire platform that is 30 FPS locked, you know? That would suck.
With the way the
I
game
won't-
looks right now from the trailers, if there's a 60 FPS mode, if they make a 60 FPS mode that isn't hugely compromised, I will actually legitimately be shocked.
We'll see.
Yeah. In my case, this won't matter because I won't get to it for like 9 years. I
Yeah.
still haven't played 5.
That's still wild to me. 5 is another one of those games that I've played 100 times.
You're bullying me for not playing Halo. And say over here, he says he hasn't played one of the most iconic games of all time. It's just like, Dad,
Halo is a national monument of
It's
nostalgia
gaming
and a
history.
wonderful innovation. GTA 5 is Gen Z brain rot. Get off my dick about it.
He kind of
that's
cooked you
true.
there. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's pretty much it.
You edit that out. You edit that
Yeah, edit it out, editor, please.
out. Edit it out.
Nah, but I do think you should play it eventually. So I'm only a
I'll
little bit
get
on your
there.
side.
If you play it, I'll play Marvel Rivals.
Why would I
Yo,
need you? I don't need a crutch.
guys, speaking of a game with 6 in the title, I know you aren't gonna have a lot to say on this, but I feel I have a lot of strong opinions. Have you guys seen the Battlefield 6 trailer?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, Haseo. Marina, did you see it? Did you see the Battlefield 6 trailer?
Nope.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? I've seen the Battlefield 6 trailer. More than that, I've played Battlefield 6. I'm in Battlefield Labs, and I can finally say things publicly, I think, I hope. Anyways, I'm not going to say too much for
All right, you got this, big dog.
I'm not
This
going to
one's
say
on
anything
you.
crazy for
I was
like
about to get
hoping
sued.
not to get sued or anything. All I'll say is the game's incredible. I
Hang on, let
worry.
me
This
just
is
add
what I
dice to
worry.
the call real quick.
Yeah. What I worry
So
about.
should we be able to hear this? Do I need to contact my lawyer?
What I worry about with Battlefield 6 is that originally this game wasn't supposed to come out until next summer. So if they're pushing it up to October of this year, that worries me. Battlefield has had a unfortunate history of bad launches and really buggy, broken games. So I personally just hope that pushing the game up has still given them enough time to, let's just say, deal with some of the issues that we've been experiencing in Battlefield Labs. Because the game needs to launch and it needs to be perfect, or else this game could kill Battlefield. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you right now. They have a slam dunk right now going into a Call of Duty season people aren't going to care about very much. Everyone's looking to play a game that isn't Call of Duty right now. All those people are going to be looking at Battlefield, and if Battlefield comes out like looking like 2042 did, we're done. It's over. Like it's not gonna work. So
It couldn't be more Jover. They tried.
yeah, like I think it actually will be the end of Battlefield if this game isn't successful on launch. I think no one will just ever buy a Battlefield game again. Like it's different when you're putting up with a broken launch in a game like Battlefield 4 that is probably the best Battlefield game ever made, or a game like Battlefield 1, which is like not my cup of tea, but also still probably one of, if not the best Battlefield games ever made. But when you're dealing with a broken launch in a game like Battlefield 5 or 2042, like it's a lot harder of a pill to swallow at that point, right? And so, like, yes, Battlefield 6, from what I played, phenomenal game. Seems like in the beta, they're going to be taking a lot of feedback and experimenting and maybe hopefully getting this game into a spot where everyone can be happy. But I just want to make sure the game works more than anything. That's all that matters to me. So it's already fun. It's been fun for months, but it needs to be polished. So hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully it launches and has a good launch and we don't have to be looking back in 2 years saying like, man, I sure wish Battlefield was still alive. Because it deserves to be a game that is successful and good and not have any issues. And please, DICE, please, 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 please don't mess this up. I'm gonna cry if this game sucks. I'm gonna actually cry because it's been so good in the tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my Battlefield rant. So now we can move on to something else that you two care about more. You heathens who don't play Battlefield, how dare you?
I'm
Last
just
time I
not
played
prepared to live
Battlefield
in the
was
reality. I'm not prepared to live in the reality where Sega launches their games in a more stable condition
I know.
than DICE
We're
does.
we've basically been in that. The last Battlefield that worked at launch was like 20 years ago. Like I can't remember the last time a Battlefield. Maybe Battlefield Vietnam. Maybe. I don't know. I was too young for that game. I didn't play it when it launched, but I don't think any Battlefield, at least since Battlefield 3, which is when I started playing Battlefield, no Battlefield game has had a good launch. Battlefield 3's launch was terrible. Battlefield 4's launch was terrible. Hardlines was terrible. But Battlefield 3 and 4 are good games. So people like put up with the launches and then a year later they were like flawlessly fixed and had like balancing problems mostly, and then got new content, and then everything's fine. And now people still play Battlefield 4. People will be playing Battlefield 4 after the goddamn heat death of the universe. I swear to God, like Battlefield 4 will never die. Server browser and a never-ending stream of players that buy the game for like $2. Like that game is just gonna live forever. But a game like 2042 has a bad launch, and then they spend 2 years fixing it, and then they just kind of like stop updating it. So like, yeah, like Battlefield
Yeah, I
2042 is
understand what
fine,
happened to 2042.
but it's like it's not anything special.
Speaking of games that took 2 years to finish, how we feeling about Edge Runner Season 2?
Edge Runner Season 2, I'm excited.
I
but
was so
I'm
mad
ready.
that
I'm ready
their
to feel
introduction
again.
to this trailer was to make me relive all the trauma.
I still need to finish Edge Runner Season 1.
Then we can't
Oh,
say anything else.
heathen.
Yeah, we can't talk about this now.
God
Because you
damn
need
it.
to. Yeah, you
It's
need to
actually
watch
on
Edge
my-
Runners.
It's on my weekend's plans.
Oh, you
Yeah,
have no
watch-
idea how much I want to
watch
create
it.
more editing for Fizz right now.
Watch Edge Runners. I'm telling you, it's actually so good. All right, sorry for the disruption. We are back. Rena had to leave, so it is now just me and Haseo. But one thing that we wanted to touch on at some point in this podcast as well is physical games. I love physical games. Anybody who's seen my collection, I have like over 1,000 some physical games, and that's pretty much the main way I buy games. I try to get a physical as much as possible, and where I can, I do tend to kind of double up on games. So I usually get physical, PS5, digital Steam. It's just usually how I do things. I'm weird. I know I spend a lot more money that way, but that's just kind of how I just do things. However, there's been a lot of stuff with Xbox specifically not really doing physical releases, and when they do, they're kind of compromised. Ninja Gaiden 4 was going to be just like a code in a box, just like Avowed was. Another thing, because we mentioned them getting bullied into making the game $70. Just recently, it was revealed that they're actually gonna move that back. They're doing disc versions of those games on Xbox. They were always going to be disc versions on PS5, but at least now the Xbox people, if you do like physical games, and more people should be buying physical games. I'm just going to be honest. But if you like physical games, Ninja Gaiden 4 will actually be a proper physical on Xbox with a disc. Same with Outer Worlds 2. That was also going to be a code in a box. They did just announce that game is also going to be a disc on Xbox. So that is a second W. A second W for Xbox. I do praise them when they do good things.
Yeah, they desperately need the good press after
They
that
do.
9,000 layoff and then the AI poster for hiring people.
They do. They need some W's right now, but that's just the way things go. I'm happy
You know what,
though.
though?
I'm
I
happy
mean-
that they're getting that some good stuff is happening. But more importantly, like I think them stepping away from physical games was a huge mistake, and I'm glad that they're starting to see that. And they're fans at Xbox. Like there are good people out there, like Sixers Octavian, who are under every single tweet, every single announcement, asking for physical games. And honestly, all the more power to him. He's dedicated, and that kind of behavior and those kind of actions. Speaking with your wallet, like I said earlier, like it's resulting in good changes. So I just hope that we see that continue at Xbox and everywhere else. I know with Xbox, the percentage of people who buy physical games on that platform is a lot lower than on PS5 and on Switch. But even still, like I just think just ending physical game support should never be the route. So even if it's 10% of 5% or however many gamers on Xbox buy physical games, like they should always have the option. I firmly believe in that.
I'm not big on the physical myself, but I'll always advocate for the option.
Yeah.
'Cause,
It's
like,
just it's good to have the option. There's no reason not to,
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason not to, and it's like, well, it's kind of something we do, unfortunately, with older systems, just because it's getting harder to actually find a system.
Yeah.
But it's a little rough when the only option on some consoles is, well, you can stream it through the service you pay for
Yeah.
in PS Now's case, or if you're on the PC side, you can maybe yo ho ho your way into a few things that aren't listed anymore.
Yeah.
But other than that, what do you really got?
Yeah, you got Yo Ho Ho, or you got paying $500 for a copy of Path of Radiance. So pick your poison.
Absolutely not.
Pick your poison.
It's like, do I want to pay like $200 for this War for Cybertron key that's being sold that might not even be real, or am I just gonna go find these files here?
That's crazy too. That like even digital games, like delisted digital games, are costing as much as like a physical copy of some old like retro game. It's like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah, no, it's
it's a
crazy.
key. It's a digital key. Like, it's not even a real tangible item.
Yeah,
Crazy. But
nah.
at the very least, though, like, yeah, I think having the options good. I think physical gaming is just super based, and I'm a big supporter of it. And so just it's good to see that it's not over. You know, that for people who like it, right? And even if you don't like it and you're listening to this thinking I'm sounding like an idiot, like even if you don't like it, that's fine. It's just I like that people are having an option, and I don't think it's wrong to push for more options. Having more options in how you consume, how you buy, how you purchase, whatever you want to call it, right? I think having more options is a good thing, and also for longevity's sake, you know, a lot of these games can still be played even after servers shut down, right? Or without internet or whatever. Like these discs do have a purpose, even if they're not necessarily like, you know, even if it's not like as simple as on the Switch where you just put the cartridge in and it just loads the game instantly. Like you do still have to download it, right? But on PS5, at least, I don't really know how it works on Xbox. I don't know if it's the same, but on PS5, most games have the 1.0 on disc. You could just put the disc in and download from the disc. No internet connection needed. So even 50 years from now, when the servers on the PS5 are off and whatever, you can just put that disc in and it'll still work. I mean, given how patch culture exists, it's not going to be the patch version of the game, but at least it'll work. At least with some games that don't need patches, like Expedition 33, you'll be able to play that forever, and it'll be the completed, you know, version. So
All right, so thank
that's
you for segueing us into our sponsor, the Stop Killing Game movement.
my gosh.
Ubisoft.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so
If
you saw
buying
their
isn't
statement.
owning, then piracy isn't stealing, mother.
You saw Ubisoft's statement on
On
like,
microtransactions.
yeah, on microtransactions, like, oh yeah, it helps
It
people
makes the
enjoy the
game
game.
more fun
Makes
when
it
you
more
pay
fun.
us to not play the game.
Oh my yeah. So this is what I'm talking about though when I say like some of these like mega corporations are just so out of touch. Like I couldn't even imagine saying that with a straight face, saying that yeah, like paying for microtransactions makes the game more fun. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's even funnier when it's like, oh, well, there's like time savers where they can skip past some of the grindy stuff, or, they can go a little faster. It's like, oh, so your
Yeah,
games are more fun when you don't artificially lengthen the grind.
crazy.
Ubisoft, you
Yeah.
are literally standing on the revelation that will save your company.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think that the real thing here is that they're saying this while doing the worst they've ever done financially in their company's history.
I want to know what kind of drugs they're taking to have the confidence to say that while one of their stocks is worth less than a loaf of bread.
Yeah, man. Ubisoft is not in good straits right now. And it sucks too because I like so many of their franchises and their games and stuff, but like I need Ubisoft PR people to just stop talking for like forever ideally. Just don't release a public statement ever.
Yeah.
And just make a good video game and then I'll buy it. And that's pretty much the only thing. Like Ubisoft at this point is known for making 7 out of 10 games that you wait to buy for like 3 to 4 months and then get on sale for $20. That is what you are known for. And now they're known for shutting down studios, closing games, and canceling projects. So that's another thing that they're known for. And it's just unfortunate because I just want good things. I want good games. I want all these good things to happen. And then you have all these developers leave Ubisoft and go make their own studio and then release a game as good as Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And that's just insane and goes to show that the problem isn't the talent at the studios. The problem is the management. So,
100%.
so
Honestly,
yeah,
them
that's
and
the
EA
Ubisoft
really
rant.
need a cold culture shock to wake up.
Yeah, man.
Like, I got so sad. Well, like, Okay, so flashback a couple years is gonna be a bit of a rant.
Okay.
This was like back when. This was back when like Dead Space remake and oh god, what was the other one? Callisto Protocol. Like this was way
Oh
back
my
when those
gosh.
first got
I haven't
announced.
thought of that game in years.
That that yeah, neither have I. That's why it took me so long. So like way back then, and like we hear like, oh, Callisto Protocol. It's gonna be the guy who directed Dead Space, but they're also just remaking Dead Space,
Yeah.
and it was that whole thing of like, well, surely EA's not gonna. Surely EA's gonna fuck it up. Fast forward, wasn't exactly what happened. Maybe the guy who directed Dead Space really just had some good people, cause oof. There's a reason no one talks about Callisto Protocol
Yeah.
anymore, and there's a reason people still talk about Dead Space. But anyway,
Yeah.
fantastic game, and then it comes out as like, yeah, no, we're not planning anything else. It didn't really sell as well as we wanted to. It's like, oh, good. I'm very glad you revived one of my favorite franchises just to kill it right in front of me again. Thanks, EA. I'm sorry it didn't sell FIFA numbers.
That's what's so ridiculous about all this, is like I there's so many
Because
levels to it. There's so many layers to it, right? There's corporate greed,
yeah,
which is the biggest thing, right? Is because every game needs to be making all of the money, and even when it makes its money back, even when it's profitable, it's still not enough money. You're still gonna fire everybody anyways. But then there's also just like the corporate meddling, right? Like the stuff we were talking about, like Ubisoft coming out and making statements like, "Oh yeah, microtransactions are good because it makes the game more fun." Like, why did they think to say that? What purpose does that serve? And they know that they're going to get backlash. Like microtransactions are things that we have kind of as a society come to accept and just kind of like grown when it's announced, but then we just kind of like whatever, like it's fine, we're just going to ignore it. And then some people buy it and makes this studio millions of dollars, whatever, but like for the most part, like people like us anyways, we just kind of like ignore it unless it's like a free to play game. But
yeah,
to then bring attention to that and then say like, oh yeah, no, like this is good that what we're doing. Everyone likes this. It makes the game better. Like all that's going to do is piss people off. Like I don't understand the idea behind what they're saying. I'm sure the developers at the studios that Ubisoft owns were probably sitting there at home like there's no way they just said that, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
these
Well, I
guys got
mean
to be getting yeah.
that's the unfortunate thing is like I look through some of those replies. It's like as wild as it is for you, me, Rena, anyone else with like half a functioning brain cell to rub around the top of their skull might think it is. There are dead ass Ubisoft fanboys that will defend them.
I don't think
So,
there's
and I don't.
I don't
They
even think there's
exist.
anything.
They're not very loud though. That's the thing.
It's because
They
there's
are
not that
very
many of
few.
them. There's not that many
Yeah,
of them. Ubisoft is a
and
shell of
that's
its
the
former self
problem.
right now, man.
And that's the problem. But they scream really loud.
Yeah. It's just with the idea of fandom, right? I don't even think there's anything wrong with liking Ubisoft games. Like I say all
Oh,
the
they're
time,
fine.
like I think 7 out of 10s are like super fun. And there are some Ubisoft games that I think are bangers worth playing. Like there's nothing wrong with liking their stuff. And even now, like even with the issues they have and the overabundance of microtransactions in single player games, like I still think like some of their games are still worth getting. But to just dig your heels in the sand and just be like, no, like these things that people hate, these are good actually, and we're gonna keep doing them and probably making them worse. Like immediately after one of your highest profile failures of all time in Skull and Bones, immediately after like all these firings and layoffs and game cancellations and studio closures, like Ubisoft is not in the position to be talking like this, and yet they're still opening their mouths and saying stuff because they are just that disconnected from the industry, and it's insane. It's actually insane to watch this happen in real time.
Yeah. No, like it's straight up like just there's probably it's just one dude or maybe just like a room of dudes that are single-handedly just steering the entire company right into the fucking ground.
Yeah, it's the highest upper management and the shareholders. Like that's how it always is with these publicly traded companies. It's
Yeah,
just
my monthly
money,
check only
month,
had 8 zeros instead of
yeah,
9.
it's money, dollar sign. It's number must go up. It's all that at the same time. That's just yeah. It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be
And
that way, but it's just that's how it is.
it does also kind of bring a bit of a larger concern, at least one that I have. It's like we've mentioned a lot, like the studio closures with Xbox and Ubisoft, and throughout the whole industry, it's like I don't know how long it can feasibly self-sustain its current path if that's kind of what's happening now. Which
Yeah.
I think is definitely a result from like, you know, quarantines where there was a like massive 5,000% increase in people playing games. So they pump all this extra money into it to take advantage. Well, what happens in like 2 to 3 years? The lockdown ends. People start going outside again. Now there's a 5,000% decrease back to where it was. And now it's
Yeah.
like, well, we're like $200 million over where we should be. And now it's like, well, we got to cut.
And I think it is promising that we are seeing people like Nintendo address it and say things out loud like, yes, we are looking to keep our game development costs lower, and we are actively looking to do this kind of stuff. I hope that the rest of the industry follows suit and just kind of tries to think more smartly about how they spend their money. Because the games industry is growing. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it
Yeah.
statistically is just growing every year. More revenue every year, more players. But you just have to, yeah, you like exactly right. Like the quarantine happened, and all of a sudden it was just like live service, big numbers go up. And now
Yeah.
they're like, okay, well, that's not the situation anymore. We don't have another lightning in a bottle Warzone, lightning in a bottle Animal Crossing to pull out of our ass, but we need the number to go up. And it's like, how do you do that? Well, if we fire everybody who made the games, then this quarter it's going to look like we had a bunch of profit. And it's like, cool. Well, then what do you do next quarter when you have no employees?
Yeah.
And it's
And
it's
it's,
it's the short sightedness. It's the it's the just do whatever it takes right now to make a buck, even if it's going to kill us down the line.
yeah.
It's the
It's like
same
you
thing
said,
that
they
happened with
also
WB.
just, yeah, they, like studios also do just need to start getting smarter with their budgets. Like
Yeah,
there is no reason why like the average video game should be costing like several hundred mil.
yeah.
Like I've
Bring
said
that
it
way
before.
down.
Yeah, like I've said before, there's no reason Spider-Man 2 should have been a $300 million game.
Zero reason.
There is nothing that reflects that. I don't even think GTA 6 should be like a $2 billion game or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah,
It's like when we're going to that extent, it's like there's no way this is self-sustaining.
agreed.
And like I'm not expecting every game to be GTA 6's bajillion-dollar budget, but like they can't survive at 300 mil.
Yeah. And that's why I'm glad that we're starting to see, because we're already seeing some industry changes, right? We are seeing, first of all, like I mentioned, companies like Nintendo addressing it and saying, hey, we are taking precautions. We're going to try and keep game budgets lower. That's a good sign. Second thing, we are seeing big studios releasing smaller budget games to wide success. The obvious
Yeah.
answer, Astrobot, right? The very, very tiny budget game sold like 2 million copies, won game of the year, got, reviewed, critically acclaimed. Like, that is what you want to see, right? And it made a bunch of money because the game costs like no money to make. The team is now doing all kinds of cool stuff, and they're continuing to add content to the game. And it's just like, yeah, Astrobot, wild success. Like a game selling 2 million, and then you see people on Twitter like, oh, that's chump change. It's like, no, man, like 2 million is a super respectful number, especially when your budget is that low. It's about your budget, right? Not every game
Yeah.
needs to sell to every gamer. And that's what these studios need to understand is that, like, no, we don't really, you shouldn't want to make a game that appeals to literally every single person, because then it appeals to no one. Like, you can't expect your game to
Yeah.
just be Fortnite.
Also,
You know what I mean? Like, not every
also
game should do that.
there is the much more prominent thing. Studios, I promise you, no one cares if you spend the extra $70,000 to render everyone's sweat pores. It does not matter.
Yeah, man.
No one will care.
Yeah. There's some things that can absolutely be, you know, taken aback. And like I understand that we need to see progress, generational progress and graphical progress, and people actively want that, but there comes a point in time where a good
Yeah, but see, that's
or
where
a good
I think.
artistic direction, good style, and good, all that stuff trumps anything you can do, right? Um, there are
Yeah,
games from 20 years ago that look like they haven't aged a day because they had a really stunning art style that holds up today. I mean, look at Wind Waker, man. People crapped all over that game when it first came out and called it cartoony, you know, cartoony garbage. But Wind Waker holds up visually more than Twilight Princess does.
yeah, and a billion times better than Ocarina.
Yeah. Well, when you start going back that far,
Yeah.
yeah, you
But
can
like
make
that's the
some
point. Like
arguments, right? Those are
Ocarina
early
goes
3D games,
for
but
realistic quote
yeah.
unquote style.
But a game like Wind Waker, a good art style goes a long way, man. You look at games like King of Fighters 13 or Street Fighter Alpha 3 or just Street Fighter 3. Like Street Fighter 3, those are all pixel sprite based games, and they have some of the best sprite work I've ever seen. Art style that is timeless and looks good now and arguably looks better than games that came out after.
Yeah.
Like
Plus, I mean,
I
like
think
in
KOF
modern
13
day,
looks better than KOF 14 and 15.
yeah. Plus, I mean, like there's so much you can do, like even with just sprite arts in the modern day,
Or
like
hand
Sonic
drawn art
Mania, that
or
Marvel Secret Invasion game that's coming out.
yeah, and like it doesn't even have to be sprite art. Like I'm not even saying that like all games should be sprite games, but you
No,
could
no,
do
no.
things, hand drawn art. Games like Marvel Tokon or Guilty Gear or like those anime style games that like are hand drawn art styles, right? I know they're not actually hand drawn, but they look like it, right? And you have that like defined art style to where like okay, yeah, like 20 years from now it's still going to look this good.
Yeah.
Whereas like, games that are coming out now that are blowing our mind, like Horizon Forbidden West, like that's a very pretty game. But come 20, 30 years, we're going to be looking back on it the same way we look back at like Metal Gear 1, you know? Like Metal Gear 1 and
Yeah.
2 when they came out. I remember my uncle telling me when he first saw Metal Gear 2 or Metal Gear Solid 2, he said that he didn't think that video games could ever look better than that. He told me that,
Yeah.
and I remember it vividly because obviously that aged like cheese. But but yeah, like I think, and another thing too is I do think Metal Gear Solid 2 looks good, right? It has that very just defined PS2 art style, but it was going for like realism, and clearly,
Yeah.
when you try to push that, it's going to age. Whereas when you have a distinct art style, it's going to be timeless, or at the very least, more timeless. You can make an argument that an art style can't save everything, but you look at a game like Okami, and all you got to do is bump the resolution up to 1080p, and that game does look like it came out this year. You know?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I do also think there's just like the more underlying thing of like there's not going to be jumps the same way there used to be, like especially for people in
Yeah.
our age range, because like you brought up Metal Gear Solid, of like you look the jump between MGS 1 to 2, that's massive. It's like he has a rendered face. Holy,
Yeah,
the lips move.
he's got a
That's
face.
insane. Yeah, he has individual fingers. Like that's crazy. Or like, Spider-Man on PS1 to Spider-Man 2 on PS2.
Yeah.
Like it's this massive leap, as opposed to now it's like things are much more incremental. We're seeing smaller advances. There's like
Yeah.
pushes for ray tracing. There's
We're seeing
these, like,
technical
reconstruction with
advancements.
upscalers.
Exactly. We're seeing technical advancements at a really increasingly fast scale, but we're not seeing those necessarily result in higher graphical fidelity, at least
Yeah.
not at the same performance levels. So, like, that's the thing that I completely agree with you on. Like, I do not think we need to spend a bajillion quintillion dollars just to get the absolute bleeding edge graphics tech in our game when you could spend $50 million and get a game that looks barely slightly worse. Like barely
Yeah.
slightly worse. Like I think you're completely right. It's a diminishing return of investment right now. And like as these technologies advance, then absolutely, yeah, we're gonna be able to push more things more easily. The machine learning, like DLSS and stuff like that, super awesome. That's helped with performance on PC a lot. It's basically made the PC market easier to get into because now a lot of these games are able to rely on that, right? But then what we're
Yeah.
seeing now is now games are using it as a crutch. And now we're having PC performance port problems, or PC port performance problems because people are like, oh yeah, no, just turn your DLSS to ultra performance to get 30 FPS in this game. It's like, okay, well that's not. We don't want
Yeah,
frame
that
gen.
is.
We
It
don't
is
want,
also just. Yeah,
it's
it's an
about balance.
unfortunate bit of advancements of like they're gonna use as a crutch as long as they can until that blows up. It's like okay, like we backtrack this.
Yeah,
It ebbs and flows
it does.
like PC market and I feel like console market kind of just constantly go like up and down of like really good ports, really bad ports, really good ports, really bad ports,
Yeah,
and it just kind of cycles back like every 5 years or so.
and it's true. You're right though. I didn't mean to cut you off. Like you were saying like how the technology it's not the same as it was where we were going from like the jump from 2D to 3D or the jump
Yeah.
from, the beginning of 3D to HD and all that kind of stuff. Like it isn't the same, but I think it's easy to get caught up in trying to push the latest, the greatest tech, the most features, the most all that stuff when like we should be putting a lot of that work into, better designing game worlds or improving enemy AI or improving mission design or all that kind of stuff. Like there's some bigger worlds, more NPCs, whatever, right? Like there's so many cool things you can do with that, and it's not just pushing. Yeah, I want to see each individual pore on this character model.
Yeah. I want to see every individual pore that you have to zoom in 300% on a still image to see. It's like, I promise you, no one cares, guys. Like, I don't need to see every individual seam stitch on Spider-Man's outfit. I just need it to look good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and I think I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that. So I'm optimistic. I think devs are realizing that, and they're seeing that these games are too expensive, and they're going to start, devs and publishers and whoever else, right? Like not just putting it all on the devs, but like these studios, these companies that make the games. They're starting to see that. They're realizing it. Nintendo's saying things like, "Yes, we're aware of this, and we're going to take steps to reduce our game budgets." But then you're also seeing these other games pop out of nowhere, right? These budget title $50 games, they just pop off and do incredibly well. Like Expedition 33 just kind of came out of nowhere and sold a bajillion copies and, like is probably going to win Game of the Year this year. So like, I think these things are showing like, hey, yeah, like we don't care that you spent $500 million on Skull and Bones or Concord or whatever. Like, stop doing that and look at all these developers that are doing cooler things with way less money. Way less money.
Yeah, no.
And then winning
It
awards
is
and making a profit and breaking sales records and all that stuff at a smaller, reduced price, too. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And I mean, I feel like there are some studios that might struggle with that in that transition. Like I don't know about Intergalactic, but I feel like if Naughty Dog has to make that change, or if Rockstar has to make that change, considering their whole kind of thing is like really pushing what these things can do,
Yeah.
that might be a little bit harder for them.
And that's true. I don't think it's necessarily that it has to be a rule. I'm not saying you can't have big AAA games, right? But every
Yeah.
single game trying to be the next big AAA game that sells Fortnite and makes Fortnite money and sells GTA amounts of copies, like that's not what the industry should be. That's what every game is trying to be. And if it's not that, it's a failure,
Yeah.
quote unquote, right? Whereas, it's okay to like just release a good game made on a modest budget with some talent
Yeah.
behind it that are passionate about it and then release it.
Also, like, just people have to stop being so like stigmatized to certain genres. Like, I would
Yeah, I
pay
agree.
so much money to have like another Ultimate Alliance game in the style of the first one, where it's that
Yeah.
very classic Diablo style thing. But people are like, "Ooh, no, like top-down game, gross. That's low budget." It's like,
Yeah.
shut up. It's fun. It's awesome.
I think when gamers do branch out and play things outside of their comfort zone, that's the best way to find some real gems you never would experienced. But
Yeah, that's how I found Persona and Nier.
but I
Was just off the
also
cup purchases.
I also think it's important though to just understand your genre and understand your audience, right? So like what would worry me is if they made Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4 and they said, okay, cool, developers of this game, you can make Ultimate Alliance 4, but this needs to sell 10 million copies, which means you need to appeal to everybody and the design needs to reflect that. So you need to have a battle royale mode. You need to have, you know what I mean? Like that's what then worries me. Like I think it's okay to set expectations appropriately and say, yes, you are going to make a game on a small budget that is going to be a niche game and we are only expecting you to sell 500,000 copies. If you sell 1 million, that's now considered a massive success and we have budgeted accordingly for this. Go ahead and make your game. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's nothing wrong with that. If a game can do that, right, then they should, right? I would rather they stick to that and like make a game for their fans and the audience that they have and maybe sell less, but like budget appropriately, right? Versus, okay, yeah, we're gonna turn Hello Kitty into a battle royale because battle royales sell and make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not what people are buying a Hello Kitty game for.
Yeah.
I mean, if they made a Hello Kitty game where Hello Kitty ran around with the AR-15 in a battle royale and shot a bunch of other Hello Kitty like characters, I'd probably buy that. But that's because I'm not Hello Kitty's target audience.
No. No.
So
It's
that's
yeah.
that's
No.
that's another conversation. You know, people talk a lot about like target audience and breaking out of that target audience and stuff, and it's that's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting to appease the new players, but within reason, right? Like not to
Yeah. It
jeopardize the
does.
core identity.
It does feel like ever since these budgets started really ballooning, we've gotten. I don't want to say less, but maybe like lower frequencies and less out there experimentations. Because like
Yeah.
we used to get games like Psychonauts. That's really out there and weird. There's Ultimate Alliance, not what you would generally expect from a superhero game. There's everything Suda 51 puts out.
Yeah.
There, there's Dark Souls. That's pretty out there. Like back in the day, back when that came out. There's Fallout. You had weird Bioshocks. There's Nier. Persona's really weird and out there, and it feels like there's less people who are willing to be like, yeah, let's just make something that's not the norm. Let's make something that is really weird, but like really artistic.
The good news is that no matter what the AAA developers do, there will always be the indie counterculture.
Yeah,
Always. It's
you're
never
a
it's never been
genuine
easier to
guy.
make and publish a game. So those people who do want to do that, um, and are passionate enough to get a team together and do it, like they can. Um, and that's really cool. You know, that's really cool that we are seeing studios just kind of pop up out of nowhere and release absolute bangers like Expedition 33. And I'm sorry to continue talking about that game, but it's incredible and its story how it got made is incredible and it fits exactly with what we're talking about because 100%, man, whatever studios, whatever all these people do, like there are passionate gamers who are just going to make something for the love of making something. I think, you know, Expedition 33 is obviously made on a small budget, but I think even if it didn't end up selling whatever it's at right now, like 4 million or something copies, I think whatever, you know, even if it didn't, like they would have still been happy with it because they made a great game that I'm sure they are very proud of. I know that
Definitely.
every time I hear the people who made that game talk about that game, or even before it was out, right, when they were just talking about making it, the process, you know, the voice actors like talking about the process of like making the game, no one, everyone in there's eyes would just light up every time they talked about it. And it's like that's a good sign. That's a sign that you're making something special. You know, you look at like you look at like not to poo poo on Call of Duty because I like Call of Duty, right? But you look at like the Call of Duty devs, right? Anytime they like get up there, it's like all PR speech. It's all like completely, you know, like it's very corporate whenever they get up
I
on
don't think
stage and
I've
talk
seen a
about it.
single one of them blink.
No, oh Blake, I thought you were gonna say you've never seen like a COD dev speak, but yeah, I was gonna say like, all right, yeah, no, like if you like watch the COD events and stuff, but yeah, no, like it's very, you know, and I know they try to like make it seem very like, you know, down to earth. We're just cool guys, right? But it's like, no, like yeah, this is
Yeah.
super corporate actually. So it's
Yeah,
different.
I mean,
It is different.
I can't really blame them. I mean, like,
No,
how
I
do
don't
you
either.
get excited to make your 23rd multiplayer
Yeah.
shooter game that
I don't
basically
blame them.
operates the same?
I don't blame them. And that's the thing is I
Yeah,
don't blame them, but what I'm saying is that there's a difference, right? You can tell
yeah,
when you have these things. And that's ultimately my point, right? Is that like yeah, AAA, there's problems in AAA. And we can absolutely discuss that all day long. But knowing that there will always be AA or indie devs out there to just carry forward that passion. There will always be the Toby Foxes of the world. There will always be, whoever else, like these other people that are just making things because they like making stuff. That's
and then
awesome.
there's the
That's
Yoko
awesome.
Taros where he permanently has his OC's head on top of his own head because he's shy, and I adore him for it.
I love him. All these gaming auteurs, even the ones that do get the big bucks, like there are people still making really good games, even at these AAA studios.
Yeah.
And it's just I love supporting those games that have that passion poured into them. And even if it's super corporate, right? Like sometimes you just get the right team together and they can just make something special even with the restrictions they're given, and it turns into something great.
Yeah.
It can. But there's there's a lot about the gaming industry that worries me, but there's also a lot that just has me very excited for the future. And I think the industry is learning the right lessons right now. I think there's a lot of damage and a lot of failure happening, but I think those failures are learning opportunities. And from what I'm seeing and hearing, I'm hopeful that most of them, obviously not Ubisoft, right, but everyone else seems to be
Yeah,
learning.
no, Ubisoft's cooked.
Yeah, Ubisoft's done, but everyone else seems to be learning the right lesson. And that's what has me excited.
Speaking of future excitement, this could totally be nothing, but one of the heads at Sucker Punch said they'd be very interested in reviving Infamous either with a sequel or a trilogy re-release.
I saw
Do it.
that.
I will pay you so much money, but that would be very cool.
I
But
saw
also,
that.
yes, it's real nice that we're kind of getting back on track.
Yeah.
Kind of a bummer that it kind of took the PS5 gen kind of just waffling about for 6 years to get there.
Yeah, I have thoughts on
I
that,
don't think it's
but
a horrible gen, but
yeah.
like you even compare it to like the gen before, there's a noticeably different energy
I agree.
around it all.
I think the vibes are off big time, but
Yo, the
the
vibes have been
quality
screwed for five
I don't
years.
necessarily think the quality's in the toilet. It is just there's a real big vibe check that's not getting passed right now. And that's across the
Yeah.
board. That's not even just a Sony thing. That's just across the board. It's a weird vibe out there right now, but
Yeah,
I
no,
think I think we're seeing improvement.
everything feels much more corporate. It
Yeah,
feels like there's less like just genuine. At least on my end, it feels like there is just a lot less excitement when I see something. It's like
for the most part, yeah.
my first thought is not like, oh, I'm excited for this. When does it come out? It's like, oh, okay. I wonder like how long before some bullshit comes out about this. It's like, oh, like 4 hours later they announce something. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And it's like, my
Yeah.
excitement is dulled.
There's a lot of that too. Again, I mean, not to repeat myself endlessly, but I feel the shift happening. I feel like things are
Yeah,
improving, and I'm excited to see where we go from here. Speaking
yeah,
of
we're shifting back.
speaking of learning lessons though, um sorry, I just did you see the Splitgate 2 stuff? Have you seen
Uh,
any of the stuff with that game?
only a little bit.
So like I'm not going to sit here and badmouth the game. I'm just not. That's not productive and that's not what I want the show to be about. But there was some stuff that happened with Splitgate 2 and it just came out last month and they just announced this week that they are unlaunching the game. And they're
Ah, right.
going
This.
Yeah, they're going back to beta and they will relaunch the game sometime next year after they've spent more time kind of going back to basics on this. And it's good that they're doing this because yes, the game needs it. It needs to go back to basics and just like rework everything. Um I don't know how much they can rework given the time that they're giving themselves, but in a year's time, the game will at the very least hopefully be better and in the right right spot, and hopefully they can earn a lot of their players back. But it comes after one of the most tone deaf announcement trailers I think the world has ever seen. I don't know. Did you watch Summer Games Fest?
No.
It's okay if you
I think I
didn't.
was at work.
Let me just paint the picture for you, okay? The CEO of 1047, that's the studio that makes Splitgate. The CEO of 1047 gets up on stage. First of all, wearing a "Make FPS Great Again" hat, by the way, which that's a whole other can of worms, right? But he gets
Bold
up on
choice.
stage and he starts talking about like FPS games used to be so good, man. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, I'm a fan of, the old Halo and the old whatever, and Titanfall 2 was like the best game ever, and Call of Duty sucks. This is going off on all the stuff, and he's like, so that's why I want to show you my game. Boom, and then reveals a trailer for Splitgate 2's Battle Royale mode with Imagine Dragons playing. And when I tell you, the whiplash. I was like, what is happening? Why was Imagine Dragons playing? Why are they showing a Battle Royale mode? Like, it's just so baffling. And then, of course, drama. The game has a lot of issues, shuts down within a month. And so hopefully, again, like we say, right? Learning lessons, right? I'm hoping they just take all the lessons from all of that, never do any of that again, and can make a good game that people want to play. Because I love Splitgate 1. It was very fun. And then the idea of a sequel was always exciting to me, because now they would have the budget to like make it kind of like nice. Splitgate 1 was a very, very low budget indie game. So now having like millions and millions of dollars, this might turn out better. But then they just kind of changed everything and took out the stuff I liked and added a bunch of stuff I didn't like. And then that moment at Summer Games Fest was kind of what turned away everyone else. So, yeah, but I'm optimistic for the future because it seems like they're handling it in a good way, right? They said, hey, we messed up. We're going to address it. We're going to go back to beta. We'll see you next year. It's probably what some other game should have done, right? Namely Halo Infinite, but we don't need to talk about Halo Infinite right now.
No one talks about Halo Infinite these days.
I have been playing it. It is very good now. It just should have been like this, 3 or 4 years ago when it came out. So,
yeah, it's tragic.
Very. But
speaking of
new
lessons
Halo
learned for companies,
yeah.
Square, please stop announcing your games too early.
Please stop. I can't. I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I can't take this anymore. I can't do this again.
I can't do another Kingdom Hearts 3 wait, Fizz.
I can't do it. But that's what they're doing to us, man. They're gonna make us wait. Dude. I'm telling you.
Canceled Missing Link, and now I have nothing.
I said this in my hot takes episode, but I think canceling Missing Link was the right call.
Yeah, I just need something, man.
Devoting all the time into like the next mainline game, but oh my gosh, yeah, no, it's ridiculous, man. But I'm hoping we don't have to wait too long. I'm just hoping and coping. But I think it's funny because like I remember the Kingdom Hearts 3 hype cycle, right? The fans were rabid for any new information.
I was at the start of high school when that game got announced.
Yeah.
It didn't come out till after I graduated.
2013 announcement to 2019 release. All right. So that 6-year window,
God.
Every day I was hearing about Kingdom Hearts 3. Every single day, a fan was talking to me about it. A fan was posting about it, all this stuff, right? Kingdom Hearts 4, though, I think after the Kingdom Hearts 3 hype cycle, man, I think we're just tired. Kingdom Hearts 4, people are just not talking. People are just like, I can't do this. I'm just not gonna pay attention until it's out.
What is there even to discuss? There's nothing.
I mean,
it's one trailer and some screenshots.
Yeah, but dude, when Kingdom Hearts 3 was the game we were waiting for, like every day there was discussions. There was all that stuff.
And I was there.
And I know, like we were talking about nothing, but we were talking. I think it's to the point now where we are so beaten and bruised and broken, we're just not even talking. We're just gonna sit here in silence and wait.
Like when that first trailer came out, like the one where it was still in like the Crystal engine that they made all the other ones on.
Yeah.
Like that very first one where Sora runs down the alley to Twilight Town with like the Shadow Swarm chasing him. people were making discussion videos about the goddamn UI.
Yeah.
Donald and Goofy curved health and MP bars. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And then, we got
We're
the
insane.
first one where it was in Unreal and Sora was all like kind of Play-Doh faced. And we were talking about that. But then it's like, oh, his Keyblade turned into guns.
What I will say is that, yeah, the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers were rough looking back at it to where the game ended up at, like visually and art style wise. Kingdom Hearts 4 looks visually appealing. Like Kingdom Hearts 4 looks good right now. So if it looks this good now, and then, maybe they're just polishing and getting stuff together, like they might not have to do that much work to like make it look like a coherent, playable game. Because like Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't look like a video game until like 2018.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they basically restarted production.
Yeah, that's true too. But even then, like the trailers we were getting like 2017 were rough.
Yeah, I'm praying that since 4 is just an Unreal from the word go. I'm praying.
I'm hoping.
Don't put me through another.
I'm
don't
hoping.
Put me through another 6 years, Nomura.
I can't do this again, man. I'm telling you. If Kingdom Hearts 4 doesn't come out like next year or the year after, I'm afraid of what's gonna happen to the fandom, dude. Like I don't think we're gonna make it. I don't think we're gonna make it.
Dog,
I think we're done.
Conditions. We were getting spin-offs, or not spin-offs, but just like we were getting something like every year, every other year, and now it's like, fuck, is this what Final Fantasy fans feel like? Damn.
Okay, but when I was young, dude, and not to age myself, but when I was young, there was a Final Fantasy game every year.
Yeah.
Every year and 6 months, there was a new Final Fantasy game. Like. Final Fantasy VII.
By the way, you remember Versus 13?
We don't need to get into that because that's going to open up more Kingdom Hearts. That's going to open up more Kingdom Hearts bullshit. If we start talking about Versus 13, we're going to start talking about Yozora and Quadratum.
Unova Crystallis Crarialum, or whatever the fuck it was.
Dude, when I was young, okay, like Final Fantasy VII came out in 97. Final Fantasy VIII came out in 98. Final Fantasy IX came out in 2000. And Final Fantasy X, wait, what?
9's the best of the PS1 trilogy.
Oh, I thought you said 2001. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was 2000, you idiot. I was kidding.
They dropped another Final Fantasy.
And then you have
second disc.
And then you have Final Fantasy X in 2001. That is a generational run. Those are 4 of the best games ever made in a span of 4 years.
Yep.
And now we get a Final Fantasy game every half decade, maybe, if we're lucky.
We get a tease of a Kingdom Hearts game every 6 years.
And it's sad because I'm a fan of those things and I want more games. But I also understand games take time. But
all I ask, just give me a Darth Vader super boss. Give me that and all is forgiven.
All is forgiven. No, give me like an Obi-Wan team up like character. Like let me, like, you know how you get like party members in cage games? Like, yeah, let me do a Star Wars world. Yeah. Let me run around with Obi-Wan voiced by James Arnold Taylor. That's all I want.
All right, here's a fun hypothetical for you. If Star Wars is in Kingdom Hearts, say it's one of the worlds, would you prefer they set it in a Clone Wars era with Anakin and Obi-Wan as your partners?
Always, that is my answer. Always, that is my answer.
Or, hang on, let me cook. Would you prefer it be during Episode 3 and the plot is Sora and Obi-Wan fighting to expel the darkness from Anakin in an alternate ending?
Never mind. Yeah, that's obviously the better choice. No, that is obviously the better choice. Oh my god, that is so sick.
You could have him as your party member at the start, but then he's the final boss of the world.
That is... You are cooking. Oh my gosh, that's now all I'm going to be able to think about for the next 4 years. Thanks a lot.
Yep. It would be so good, though.
I think it's pretty much hinted at that we're getting an original trilogy world. Because in the trailer, Endor. It very much so looks like Endor. It could be not Endor. It could just be a lookalike, but it's probably Endor. And
you're right.
It.
No, that's Naboo in Episode 1 where fucking Qui-Gon tackles Jar Jar.
I'm just saying, There's no official Disney or Square confirmation that that is Endor. However, if you are crazy, like me, you recognize those trees anywhere. You recognize those branches, the leaf, the way the leaf formations. Yeah, no, that's totally Endor. So pretty sure we're getting Return of the
it's gonna
Jedi
be Darth
content.
Vader super boss, but you cannot tell me that idea would not be peak.
You are cooking. You are beyond cooking, and I am.
Or hell, if they want to do it episode 6, Darth Vader can still be the final boss, and
Yeah.
that's the moment where he turns back.
Yeah. It's very Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I think.
So anyway, I should be a screenwriter for one of these worlds.
Yeah, Square Enix, hire this man. Just hire this man.
Hell yeah. Don't worry, we can get Clone Wars era for Kingdom Hearts 5.
Okay, that's a good compromise. I can live with that.
Or I'm sorry, no, it'll be Kingdom Hearts 45th fraction over 100.2 decimals.
HD.
Yeah, final remix. And Knuckles.
And Knuckles, yeah. Well,
Can't forget and Knuckles.
well
Windows
on
Edition.
and Knuckles
Episode Ignis.
featuring new funky mode.
Yeah.
But on that note, I
Plus
think we should
episode
call
Knuckles.
it. I think we should call it here. But thank you. First of all, thank you for joining and being here on your first ever appearance on this podcast.
Yes, of course.
I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with your friends for once.
You know what? I have to do it once every month. Contractual obligation.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching or listening or however you are experiencing this. We do appreciate you listening to the ramblings of just some insane people. I don't know why you do it, to be honest, but we appreciate it. So thank you very much. We will see you again this time next week. You guys have a good one. Bye.
Have a good one, y'all.